So a few days ago, I was in class when Mrs. Wang walks into the room, and we were startled because we thought she was going to start screaming, "Just do it!" While this song played in the background.
All around me are familiar
Do it!
faces.
Just do it!
But she came into the class, put a list on the door, then left. So we're confused, and we all go over the list, and it has the names of all the people in algebra on it. So I look down the list, and my name is on it. Yay! On the top it says, if you're on this list, then come to my class during your study period. So we're all gossiping, wondering what we're going to do, because she's already graded us, so it couldn't count toward class points. So we're slightly confused. Some of us think it's a meeting. Others think it's a gather up of all the smartest 5-year-olds in the world to be taken to a secret Illuminati base in the middle of nowhere where we'd be put inside of separate tubes with needles inside of our brain, flowing into the almighty brain overlord in the center of the giant dark wide room, so that he would have infinite knowledge and could finally take over the universe. All hail the brain lord. But some thought she was just going to hand out bubblegum. But anyways, we come to her during class during study period, and she asks us to take a seat. She then passes out papers that say geometry placement test on them. She then informs us that this is not a geometry placement test. What? I raise my hand and she calls on me. Why does it say geometry placement test on the top of the paper if it's not a geometry placement test? She tells me that there was a typo. No, I'm not willing to accept that. But I have to, so I sit down in my chair and I start working on my tests. There are like 10 pages on it, and I'm only on the first one, but it seems a little bit easy. Keep in mind the first page is only like addition and subtractulus and calculus. Whoa! Addition and subtractulus and calculus. Whoa! Addition and subtractulus. Addition and subtractulus. Subtractulus. But basically some pretty simple stuff, and I get through it pretty fast. But I look across the room and a kid, I won't say his name as well, crying straight up, just tears flowing out, but I can hardly hear it. I just can mainly see it though. But I get it. I mean, if I didn't know what anything meant at all, I would just be considering life, and I'd be in algebra for a third year in a row. Oh wait, I'm mistaken, guys. This isn't a placement test. To be honest, I really don't know what it is. But if I didn't know addition, I'd probably have to stay in algebra for another year anyway. So I'm wondering if this kid is seeing anything I didn't see on the test. So I flip through to the end, and some stuff looks like it'll take some time. But mainly it's pretty simple. And right now your train of thought must be like, Carl, where are all the memes? I didn't click on this heavily clickbaited video for nothing. Patience, young Padawan. The memes will find their way to you. So some kid raises their hand to ask some questions, and she says, I'm not going to answer your questions, so just do it.
Just do it!
There you go, some nice little memes just for you, but pretty much the rest of the video is mainly memes, so click off if you don't like that stuff, but don't forget to smash that like button, guys, I honestly don't know why you'd click away. I mean, the video is literally titled memes, so if you click away, because you don't like memes, then what? So she goes to the front of the class because it's getting noisy, and she does some thing, when teachers get that mad, they do that mouth zip thing, but unfortunately no one's looking at her, so she bangs her hand on a filing cabinet, and everyone shuts up. They shut up. So I raise my hand to go to the restroom, and she looks at me and asks, what's your question? 3 minutes ago, literally 3 minutes ago, she said, don't ask questions, just do it.
Just do it!
And now I don't even have a question. She's all like, yes, what's your question? I tell her I need to go to the restroom, and she gives me one of those death stares. The ones where your grades are bad, but you're just drawing a picture, and the teacher's just looking at you, waiting for you to look up so she can just ask you, shouldn't you be studying? And you're just like, yes, and she says, okay then. And then she just looks back down. That's the look she gave to me. Then she just smiles and says, yeah, you can go. I don't know if it's some sort of trap, but I go to the restroom and I come back, and nothing out of the ordinary, just some kids hanging by their toes with insanity slowly biting away at their head, the usual. But I sit down and a kid from my class raises his hand. She's like, do you need to go to the bathroom? And he's just straight to the point. He's just like, yo, can I quit? She says no. And that's the end of that for a while. So I'm sitting next to this kid in my class who's confused about one of the questions. So he asks how to do it, and she's just like, well, you put the tool here and you gotta follow along with this question. And you see, you square both sides, and then you can divide by the lowest common denominator, etc. And I'm trying to follow along with this question because, well, I'm just as oblivious, but I can see this. I can't see his paper very well. So I ask her the same question, and she starts pointing towards stuff, and she says, "You do that, and then this, and then this," and that's not even an exaggeration. Like, you're probably thinking, "Oh yeah, guys, it's a hilarious joke. He get it? He didn't understand what she was saying." No, that was not a joke, and I'm afraid like no one's gonna take me seriously when I say this. But no, she just looked at my paper and said, "You do that, then this, then this." What? But then she actually teaches me what I'm supposed to do. Like, I get it, it's a joke. But while she's teaching me, she puts down a notebook that I look at, and it has 2 lists on it with kids on both of them. And one's labeled algebra and one's labeled geometry. Really, just really. She specifically told us it wasn't a geometry placement test, even though I don't think anyone believed that. Of course, I don't tell anyone about this. Oh, by the way, I wasn't on either of the lists yet. Then little Jimmy says out loud, "Wait, if this isn't a geometry placement test, then why does it matter whether we try or not?" Yo, little Jimmy, buddy, old pal, there are just 2 reasons that what you said was the absolute dumbest thing I've ever heard a human say. I know you don't know this, little Jimmy, but this is a geometry placement test. And don't say your master plan out loud. I mean, there are probably plenty of kids in this class that know it's a geometry placement test already, that had the exact same plan, because they knew they weren't going to advance anyway. But they shut their yaps about it, because they knew that if they yelled that out loud, the thing that happens next would happen. Mrs. Wang says, "You are required to do the whole thing, or else I will make it a geometry placement test." So I think it's about time someone asked her, if it's not a geometry placement test, then what is it? And so I did the honors, and she responded with, "It's a test to find out what you learned when Mr. Gung was teaching, so I know what to teach algebra next year." It was pretty airtight, other than the fact that Mr. Gung didn't teach us the right way, and you know it, Mrs. Wang. And if you wanted to have that influence what we do next year, then that is not good. And B, you don't know which kids learned nothing from Mr. Gung and which ones had extra tutoring outside of class. I didn't have extra tutoring, but like Mr. Gung did not help me. I kind of figured out the concepts on my own. I mean, he helped me the first year, but the second year he was just like, nope. So I'm just like, well, okay, it is what it is. And I'm almost done, so I'm pretty content. Then some kid is talking, and she goes up to this kid and says, "Do you want to go into geometry or not?" And this kid's like, "Wait, hang on, I thought this wasn't a geometry placement test." And Mrs. Wayne goes, "Well, I changed my mind." So remember the kid I was talking about earlier, the one who wanted to quit? He says, "Oh, I'm fine with not being in geometry. Can I quit?" And then Mrs. Wang says to him, "If you quit, then I'll put you in geometry." And he's like, "That's fine. I mean, that's better." And then Mrs. Wang is looking all defeated, like, "Oh, I thought that's what you wouldn't want." And she says, "Yeah, you can quit then." And he's all like, "Yay!" And you could just see the faces of all the other kids in the class, just jaws dropped, like, "What the heck?" I then look over and see her add this one kid's name to the algebra list. Later, we have to leave the class, and I'm sad because overall there weren't too many memes other than that the class sounded like this the whole time. But other than that, there are a few things I've been thinking about that are too short to make a video about. And I might start talking about small things like this in all my videos, but there's this kid named Bob he's a good guy. But there's that one kid, right? Basically, he's that one kid. He is that one kid, right? That one kid that goes out of his way to ruin one of your jokes. Like, he'll correct you on anything. Like, actually, the Eiffel Tower is in France, not Italy. See, guys, even though the joke made you laugh, it wasn't really funny. Get wrecked. So Bob has to be right no matter what, right? Nope. No matter what, you are wrong. So case in point, Bob goes to hang out with us, and he gets into an argument with this one kid named Joe who punches Bob in the face, right? Which is messed up. I mean, punching someone in the face is not right. But Joe's an aggressive guy, so we normally stay away from him. But when Joe's being a pain in the butt, we kind of get mad. So basically, Bob does what any normal human person would do. Human person. Congratulations.
around me are familiar faces, worn out places.
And he's mad, but he keeps his composure. Then he goes and tells the teacher what happened, and the kid gets in trouble, the other kid, Joe. But this was like 5 months ago, and I'm about to talk about 2 days ago. We're playing dodgeball in PE, and my friend Uther gets hit in the head with the ball twice in a row. Now, when you get hit in the head, the person that threw the ball at you gets out, and you can stay in. But when they threw the ball at Uther, they just thought, nope, the rules don't matter anymore, guys. No one has to go out. Aren't you guys all happy? Isn't this such a better system of rules? So Uther talks to me about this after class, kind of going like, what the heck? Then he goes over to Bob like, bro, I got hit in the head twice and no one got out. And Bob's just like, you gotta take those hits to the face, bro. And you don't tell the teacher. Nah, bro. Nah, you don't tell the teacher. You gotta fight back. You gotta be, you can't be limp about it. It's almost like he was talking to his old self instead of Uther, because that works way better in his scenario than in Uther's. So in conclusion today, which class has the most memes? Math. If you and Bob have the exact same opinion and you are both right, then who is right? No one. Peace out. Comment Swiss cheese down below if you made it this far into the video.